Then now the next question is, what is the cause of this extinction? We'll discuss that part. There are usually 4 causes for the extinction of the biodiversity, and that is why these 4 types are known as evil quartet. Evil quartet. Why quartet? Because 4 reasons are there. And why evil? Because due to these reasons it leads to extinction of biodiversity. That is, these 4 are known as evil quartet. So we will discuss the causes of loss of biodiversity. There are mainly 4 causes, so it is known as evil quartet. This is important for also examination point of view. So what are these 4 reasons? Now the 4 reasons are, we'll discuss one by one. The first one is that is habitat loss and fragmentation. Habitat loss and fragmentation. Now this is the most important reason for loss of biodiversity. Most important, this one, habitat loss and fragmentation. So what is this habitat loss? Now if you take any forest, any national park, where usually the different types of wild animals, birds, reptiles, all this live. But suppose the human beings, for their own benefit, they will take national highway within that national park. What will happen? That means the national park will be divided into 2 different parts. So in the core area, the different types of wild animals, those which are inhabiting, now that is divided. So what will happen? They will come out. And usually we tell that the different types of wild animals like tigers, lions, or even the elephants, they are coming out of the jungles and they are invading the human residential areas. But that is actually not correct. They are not inhabiting our habitat. We are invading their habitats, because around each forest we are growing croplands, we are growing orchards, and also the urban areas gradually they are moving towards the forest and jungles. So we are invading their habitats. They are not invading, but wrongly we are telling that they are coming to our residential area. So this is known as the habitat loss, because their habitat is lost due to fragmentation, because either the roads or some electrical projects or some canals, we are taking it through the different types of forests. That is why their original habitat is lost. Now, if we give some examples of this habitat loss, then the first case we will take that of the tropical rainforest. Now, the tropical rainforest, it has the total covering of 14% of the entire planet Earth. That is, of the entire planet Earth, 14% of this it was covered by tropical rainforest. But now it has been reduced only to 6%. Why? Because human beings have exploited it. So that is one of the reasons. Now you will come to the second point. The second point is Amazon rainforest. Now the Amazon rainforest, it is so much, it contains so much of biological diversity that it is known as lungs of our planet. Lungs of our planet, that is Earth. But this nowadays this Amazon rainforest is lost. Why? Because the forest trees are cut for growing soybeans or growing grasslands for beef cattle, for beef cattle. That is why the first trees are simply cut down. This is one example. Then you will take the another example. You will find that is 90% of wetlands of New Zealand that is occupied by the European settlers. That means 90% of wetland is lost in New Zealand because the European people, they are settling there. So these are the different reasons for habitat loss and fragmentation, which is one of the main causes and most important cause of loss of biodiversity. Now I will come to the second one. The second one is overexploitation. Overexploitation. So what is this overexploitation? Now usually the human beings, they need food and shelter, which we get usually from the forests. But if our need becomes a greed, if our need will be converted to greed, what will happen? That means arbitrarily we will go on destroying our diversity. So this is known as overexploitation. So due to this overexploitation, what we have lost from our biodiversity, this is the list. So due to the human activities, due to overexploitation, the dodo, then the different types of horses, tigers, steelers, sea cow, and also the passenger pigeon, then the dodo, then the steelers, sea cow. So, and along with the three subspecies of this tiger, that is Bali, Javan, and the other one is the Caspian. So these we have these have been extinct due to overexploitation by human beings. Then the third category. The third category is the alien species invasion. Alien species invasion. So what is this alien species invasion? Alien species means exotic species which are not found in a particular area. When alien or foreign species or exotic species will invade a particular area, sometimes they grow so rapidly that the different types of species that are native to that particular land, they become gradually decline and finally they become extinct. Now here we'll take some examples both from the animals and plants. Now we will take the case of animals. In case of animals, now one example is the Nile pork. Now when this Nile pork was introduced into Lake Victoria of East Africa, usually 200 species of their native fish, that is fish child. This is the fish. That is 200 species of fish child fish have become lost because of the introduction of this Nile pork. This is one example. Now I will give the second example. The second example we can take that of the that is introduction of African catfish into aquaculture of India. So what happens? Now this African, due to this introduction of African catfish into our agriculture, into our aquaculture, we have lost so many native ones. Then the third example. The third example we can take that of the American gambusia fish. Now this gambusia fish is introduced so because it will eat the larva of a mosquito to control mosquito. But now it has invaded in most of the waterlands. So these are the different cases where the alien species they invade the local biodiversity so that they become gradually decline and extinct. Now if you take the case of some plants. So the plants, one of the very important example is if you take the case of plants. One of the very important example is water hyacinth. Water hyacinth, which is Icornia. Now this was introduced in India for its beautiful look and beautiful flowers. But in few years, it expanded so rapidly that most of the wetlands, ponds, lakes, they were covered. And due to its coverage, the original aquatic plants and animals, they got suffocated because they are, due to their rapid growth, they required more oxygen and there is more demand for the oxygen. That is, those which are aquatic plants and animals, they didn't get sufficient amount of oxygen. As a result, their number declined, they become extinct. So this is also known as terror of Bengal. Then we'll take a case of second case, that is Lantana camara. Now Lantana camara has some beautiful flowers with different colors. It is a bush, but this is responsible for mainly the forest fire. Forest fire. And if we take a third case, the third case is a carrot grass, which is known as Parthenium. Parthenium. Now this is also a very dangerous plant. This plant can grow in non-irrigated lands and usually it invades all the crop plants. And the pollen grains are very dangerous. They cause pollen allergy, they cause different types of the asthma, bronchitis and different types of respiratory diseases. And it grows so rapidly that all the crop plants are invaded and other crop plants cannot grow. So what will happen? Naturally, they will become, gradually their number will decline and finally they will become extinct. So this is the third, that is alien species invasion. Now the fourth point is coextinction. The fourth point is coextinction. So from this word coextinction, you can guess what it is. That means say, when one organism will be extinct, that will lead to the extinction of the other organism. Suppose a fish will be extinct, then the different types of parasites that live within the fish, naturally they will become extinct because they are unique only to that particular fish. So when the fish become extinct, all those parasites become extinct. Similarly, in some plants, there is very mutual relationship between the pollinators and the flowers. If we take the case of, the case of the, suppose that of the yucca, and this yucca, it usually with pranuma moth. That means yucca flowers, they require only pranuma moth for its pollination. Now suppose this yucca moth will be extinct. Naturally this will be extinct. Similarly, if you take the case of fig plant, then it is associated with blastophaga. only the fig flowers will be pollinated only by blastobaga. So if a fig is extinct, this will be extinct, or vice versa. If this will be extinct, so it cannot be pollinated. That means there is a mutual relationship. That is when one becomes extinct, the other automatically becomes extinct. This is known as coextinction. So these are the four main causes for loss of biodiversity, but this habitat loss and fragmentation is most important. Now another question comes to mind: if there is a loss of this biodiversity, what will happen to our ecosystem? So that we will discuss here. What will happen? Now the first thing that is there will be decline in vegetation. When there will be loss of biodiversity, naturally there will be decline in vegetation. The second point is that is a lowered resistance to environmental perturbations. Now perturbation means any change in the system. So when there is a loss of biodiversity, there will be lowered resistance to environment. That means when the environment is deviated from the normal one due to drought or flood or due to harsh conditions, then they cannot adjust to it. Their resistance power will be lowered. And the third point we can write that there will be decrease in productivity and the disease cycle is disturbed. So when there is a loss of biodiversity, these things are likely to occur. So this is the different aspects of loss of biodiversity. That means it is of three different types. It may be natural, it may be mass extinction, or it may be anthropogenic. And there are four causes of loss, which is known as evilquartet. And the four are, that is habitat loss and fragmentation, which is very important. Second one is overexploitation. That means the need has become converted to greed. Then alien species invasion. That means the exotic species will invade. And the coextinction, when there is a mutual relationship. So when one is lost, the other is lost. Now let us discuss questions. So always at the end of each video, the questions are given relating to that video, so that immediately your idea will be very clear what are the type of questions coming and which question has been asked which year, so that immediately it will be very much clear. You needn't have to go to the books for it. So one question is which of the following is the most important for animals and plants being driven to extinction. Now one choice is alien species invasion. The second one is habitat loss and fragmentation. The third one is drought and floods. and the fourth one is economic exploitation. Now this question was asked in NEET 2019, and the same question was also asked in 2016. From this you can imagine what is the importance of this question which we have discussed. Now the second question is that is the red list contains data or information on first choice all economically important plants, then the second choice is plants whose products are in international trade. The third is threatened species. And the fourth one is marine vertebrates. Marine vertebrates only. And this question also it was asked in NEET 2016. That is, from this easily you can guess what is the importance of this discussion, that is loss of biodiversity. So in a very simple way you can understand it and remember the things. So thank you very much for watching the video. Wish you a very bright future. God bless you.